All right, the Olympic Games officially get started on Friday afternoon with the opening ceremonies coming to you from Paris. And at these games, the United States men's basketball team, they're going to be going for a fifth consecutive gold medal. They are the heavy favorites to win again, but their warm-up game showed that anything can happen against Team USA. So let's preview the men's squad and their chances at the Summer Games. We're going to do it with a contributor to the New York Post, also the Action Network. He is a self-proclaimed international basketball lover. It's my guy, Bryan Fonseca, who joins me now. Bryan, what's going on, man?
Doing really well. You know I love the Olympics. You know I love international basketball.
I do.
So this is my season, so to speak.
Yes, this is your season. This is your time. We're about to see for the next couple of weeks a good amount of international basketball. And we're going to talk a little about Team USA and what we think they can do. So, Bryan, based on what you've seen in these exhibition games that the team played this month, and also coming after the disappointment of the 2023 World Championships, which you and I talked a lot about last year.
Yes, we did.
How is this year's USA men's basketball team shaping up compared to previous squads that we've seen at the Olympic Games?
So there's a lot of freak out now about how this team has been performing. And I will say that even though it doesn't look like it, this is actually progress from where we were before the last Olympics, because they lost to Nigeria in a scrimmage before the Olympics started. They also lost to Australia. And then in group play, they actually lost to France and then went on to win the gold medal still. So it wasn't a perfect run. This team is absolutely better than that team. However, we've seen some damning things in terms of chemistry and, you know, toying with a South Sudan loss, which would have been historic for many different reasons. South Sudan has gotten disrespected to some degree. They're actually the best team in all of Africa right now. So I think people should put respect on their name. But they also shouldn't be beating Team USA or damn near beating Team USA even in the scrimmage, right? So there's a line there. And then Germany, who beat Team USA in the World Cup last time out, they hung in with Team USA toward the end of a scrimmage where you can see why they were the world champions last year, because Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, and that entire team has cohesion. They're really good. Team USA hasn't quite found theirs yet. They don't shoot enough threes. That's another problem. And they don't have Kevin Durant yet. They're expected to have him. So we'll see what actually happens with that. But I think there are a myriad of reasons why people are concerned. But I do think this team is still better than the team that we saw definitely in the World Cup and the team that we saw last Olympics.
All right, so reason for optimism there, because you said this squad looks better than the team you saw in 2023 at the World Cup, also at the previous Olympics. But you mentioned a word that we talk about a lot in terms of sports. That's chemistry. And team chemistry, you know, this is always important when it comes to international play. And the U.S. team, they haven't had much time to play together, right? Has the team, in your eyes, developed good chemistry and synergy during their warm-up run? Are you still like, I don't know about the chemistry here?
I don't think Joel Embiid should be starting. That's where I'm at. And I'm sure, so if we go through the recruitment process, Joel Embiid got French citizenship. People believed that he was going to play for France. This was going to be a big thing. Maybe we get a Joel Embiid, Victor Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert front court. And Joel Embiid was like, nah, I'm going to play for Team USA. And people were like, oh, man, Team USA is going to have a monstrous team now, which they do on paper. But in terms of a basketball fit for what we know Joel Embiid to do, again, he's a top whatever player in the NBA, 5, 6, 8. Some people would say 3, whatever the case may be. But in terms of a fit on this basketball team and what Joel Embiid excels at, scoring down in the low post, holding the ball for a while, drawing fouls, drawing contact, that's not really what the starting lineup needs. And to me, I think he's not really a great fit for the starting unit. I think you have him come off the bench and actually tear up other teams' second units, because he could do that in a one-on-one basis, and you could justify him having the ball as opposed to taking it from like a LeBron James, for example. I actually would toy with the starting lineup of Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant if he's healthy, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Davis. I would just go big. I would just go big against other teams, lock down the interior. The Bam and Anthony Davis minutes have looked really good. Bam shooting threes now. So that's something that, you know, you would have to stretch the floor. Kevin Durant's the best scorer the Team USA has probably ever had. And LeBron James is the best player on the team. And Steph Curry is the best shooter in the world and has been for like 15 plus years.
One of the things you saw in the World Championships was the problems that Team USA had in terms of rebounding with their bigs. You know, Jaren Jackson Jr. struggled a lot with that. And the hope was that Joel Embiid would help with some of that. And I hear your point. You're not saying that Joel Embiid can't help with that.
Right.
It's just that how he's utilized in a different way, maybe off the bench, would be better and would help some of that team chemistry. So we'll see how that all plays out. Now, the fans out here saw this. We saw in multiple warm-up games, LeBron James, at the age of 39. At the age of 39, Brian, he was the go-to guy when the team needed a bucket late in the game. When you look at that, you see this from King James. Is LeBron the most instrumental player for Team USA's success in Paris? Do you look at it that way? We're talking about a 39-year-old LeBron James who's still a top player. This is not me saying this when he's shade. Just want to be very clear.
Right.
But I think it's worth asking the question I just asked. Is he the most instrumental player for this team?
He turns 40 years old on December 30th. Oh, look, all I'm saying is with Team USA's future, Cooper Flagg, you better be nice, bro. Like as it relates to how we're watching Team USA in the scrimmages. And look, I still think, and we'll talk about their gold medal chances, they're the favorites for a reason. It's deserved. I don't know about minus 400, but it's deserved. But watching LeBron James having to save this team on multiple scrimmages, I'm sure it's going to happen in the tournament as well. Kevin Durant being there will help. They haven't had Kevin Durant. Like, that's going to be meaningful, obviously. He's going to be one of the most important top 3 players on this team, or whatever the case may be. But LeBron James having to save this program, I was shocked that he was even on the team to begin with, because usually guys at this stage of their career, it's like, what are you doing the Olympics for? Now, we know why LeBron's doing the Olympics, because wants another gold medal. I'm sure there's going to be a documentary here somewhere. Like, he's absolutely going to have a documentary where he's going to be the executive producer along with Maverick Carter. They're going to tell the story about one last run with Team USA, whatever. Like, you know that's going to happen. They're setting this up. But him having to save this team, like, it makes me look at 2028, and Olympics that's going to be in LA, by the way. So it's going to be here in America. And, like, Cooper Flagg, Jason Tatum, like, we'll see some of the guys on that team. But, hey, like, I don't know. Like, we're getting closer to the point, because we talk about this all the time, about the world catching up to Team USA. Every year it gets a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and now we're starting to see them struggle, even with the team that people think, hey, this is the best team, the best collection of talent that we've seen Team USA have, which I'm not sure is the case either.
Yeah, it is interesting. I thought for a second you were going to go and start saying that LeBron needs to play in 2028, and I was like,
No.
He's going to be 43. I was like, where's Brian going with this? I'm not sure about this. Right, but it's clear right now that he is definitely one of the most instrumental players with this team. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing for Team USA, although he's gotten the job done at 39, so you can't argue that. I know these were exhibition games, but he did get the job done.
The Lakers probably aren't too happy about this.
No, more wear and tear, more miles on LeBron playing this international competition.
Hey, look, it opens the door for Bronny James, perhaps, yeah.
You're trolling that. Come on, man. You're trolling. You're trolling that. All right, moving on. When you look at the global landscape, because we don't want to just make this totally about Team USA, right?
Sure.
But you just mentioned this because the world has been getting better at basketball. I think sometimes people expect things to look like it did for the 92 Dream Team, where they're just blowing out the competition. When you look at the field, which countries pose the biggest threat to USA's gold medal ambitions this year at the Olympic Games?
Well, we could start with Serbia, because that's who they're going to play in the first game, and Serbia is the best team in their group. Now, Team USA is fortunate to not have an especially strong group, and I say that coming off the heels of a South Sudan game that was very close, but I kind of think South Sudan also had their shot. Puerto Rico, my guys, they're in the group with Team USA, but I don't expect them to be much of a challenge outside of three-point shooting that could be streaky, they're quick, or whatever the case may be, but Team USA should handle that. Serbia is the team first, because Serbia is who they're going to see in the group. You're adding Nikola Jokic and Micic as well to a team that was second in the World Cup. Okay, you're adding Jokic to that. This team is going to be really good. Bogdan Bogdanovic is there. He's actually the captain of the team, too, and he's going to be shooting from the outside. Like, he's going to try to stretch that Team USA defense. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. The line opened at like 16.5 for Team USA. It moved to like 12.5 over the course of this week. I think it's back at 13 now. So interesting to see that unfold. They played each other in a scrimmage. Team USA blew them out, but I don't think Serbia really showed any of their cards. And then when you look at the rest of the field, Group B, you have France, who you expect to advance. France we should talk about because They are coming off an awful World Cup. I thought they could win it, and they were like the first team eliminated. They want to respond now because they're home. This is the last run for some of those dudes. Definitely is for Nicolas Batum, because he said as much. But you're adding Victor Wembanyama to this team, who might be a top 10 player in the world if healthy already. You're also adding Bilal Coulibaly, and you're reinserting Frank Ntilikina, who is going to be a consequential defensive player if they use him in a certain way, which I think will be the case. Nando De Colo, Evan Fournier is still there. The whole thing, Germany, the defending world champions, they're going to be in Group B as well. And Group A is the group of death. So this is where it can get scary, because Team USA could see one of these teams, regardless of whether or not they win their group, in the quarterfinal. That group, Greece, Spain, Canada, and Australia. Australia just got a bronze medal in the last Olympics. Canada just got a bronze medal in the World Cup, beating Team USA to do it. And then otherwise you have, Greece, who has Giannis, and kind of a top-heavy team a little bit, but they're physical. They really smacked Slovenia in FIBA World Cup Olympic qualifiers. Then you also have Spain, who has the experience and things of that nature. And the Hernan Gomez's are going to be there. They're going to be big. They're going to be on the interior. Usman Garuba gives them athleticism. But, it's going to be a deep field that's going to challenge Team USA. I think this Olympic field is better than what we saw in 2021, even though Team USA is better. So I think there are a lot of factors. And people have to remember, this is closer to March Madness than it is the NBA playoffs, because once group play is done, it's just single elimination, and anything could happen in a one-game sample. So the quarterfinals are not going to be easy once they get by the group.
Yeah, also another note for the fans, there's only 12 teams competing here in Olympic play. So once you get to group play, top 2 teams from each group advance to the quarterfinals, and 2 of the best third-place teams will then make it to that knockout round. All right, got to ask you this, because you do stuff around betting. From a betting angle, what are some of the best bets associated with Team USA at these Olympics? You talked about them being the favorites, minus 400 to win it all. What are some other bets that you're liking around Team USA?
If I wanted to bet on Team USA, I would just wait and bet on them from a game-to-game basis. Minus 400 is just not a price you want, honestly. If they lose to Serbia in group play, which is possible, it's obviously possible, right? Serbia's a good team. If they lose, then that price will have more value, and then you can get Team USA to just win the gold medal at a better number. For now, you could just bet them on a game-to-game basis, and you'll be fine. Take some props, take the spread, whatever the case may be. I don't know about taking the spread against Serbia, but you can try your hand at the rest of the games in group play. If you want to potentially fade them, then I got you, because there's a bet out there that I really like where it's continent to win the World Cup. Europe is plus 500 last I checked. And with Europe, you're getting 5 of the 12 teams in the World Cup. So basically, you're not getting Canada, you're not getting Australia, but you would get Germany, you would get Greece, you would get Spain, you would get France as well, and you would get Serbia. So with France, Serbia, Germany, there's a lot of teams there, make up almost half the field. And honestly, you want almost half the field, because other teams like Brazil, Puerto Rico, South Sudan, Japan, with all due respect, they don't have a chance at winning the World Cup. Maybe they can go on a Cinderella run and get to obviously they can get to the quarterfinals, 1 or 2 of those teams, but I think you'll be fine shorting them in the long run. So ultimately, I think that's a bet that you would want. Canada is plus 1,000. They're sort of the sexy pick. People like Canada to potentially upset Team USA. I think it's possible. If you do like Canada, that's a good number to get them at. France straight up was at plus 1,200, 1,400 or whatever, so there's some value there as well. So if you look at individual teams, there's going to be value on everybody but Team USA. And if you look at continent, Europe is probably the one with the most upside, because with the Americas, you're not going to get value because you're getting USA and Canada.
Canada there, plus 500, you said there, if you're going to bet Europe to win the Olympic Games. All right, last thing for me, Bryan. When you look at this USA men's squad, here's the question. Will this team bring home another gold medal in 2024? Why or why not?
I think ultimately, yes. I think all this being said, and it can be concerning, and you saw what you saw, I think ultimately this team will get it done. It's going to be close. There will be some close games I think there will be times where the team is made uncomfortable. The three-point shooting is a question. I don't think they have enough of it on this roster. We'll see what happens late in games. LeBron James is going to have to do more than you would probably want. And then also the health concerns. Like, you hope that Kevin Durant is healthy if you're pulling for Team USA. You hope that Joel Embiid could stay healthy, because in high-leverage situations, he just always happens to get hurt, which is unfortunate. And then you have some age on this team as well, so we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I do think they get this done. But I think, again, from a purely betting standpoint, there's value on looking at other teams. And then from just a basketball perspective, anything could happen in a one-game sample. And now that the sort of continents have caught up a little bit, or are catching up, like a one hot shooting game, and South Sudan had a hot shooting game against Team USA. It was 42%. The way the three ball is now, you can add to that variance. And because of that, it kind of puts Team USA at a little bit of a deficit if they're not getting up the requisite three-pointers as much better as they are than everybody else. So I think you got to look at a whole bunch of factors, but they should win this. And I would feel confident that they don't stumble yet. One of these Olympics, it's going to happen, and it might be 2028 the way 2024 is looking.
All right, there you have it. We'll see if Team USA is able to get it done at the Olympic Games in Paris. They are the betting favorites, going for their 5th consecutive gold medal. That's my guy, Bryan Fonseca. Check him out on nypost.com. Also, the Action Network as well. Bryan, appreciate the time. Enjoy. This is your season.
Yes.
Enjoy the international basketball.
And YouTube as well.
There you go. Check them out on YouTube, too.